Alright everybody, this is a new game. I just bought it a couple days ago. I played like 4 minutes of it and it didn't go so well. Anyways, yes. Starting an expedition. Yes. Okay. Oh, the airs be cold. Oh, the airs be cold, a flake and white. As a sailor begs their pledge to the ice, they'll pray that leads reveal. Out in the ice, they'll stake a claim. That in the dark, they'll brace themselves. That in the dark, they'll brace themselves for horror still ahead. Okay. Of homes well dreamed, the souls around of glory found. Of glory found. Of glory found and forged in frost, so that their tale be spread. Hunger draws the desperate here. It's one that can't be fed. It's one that doesn't blood. It's one that can't be fed. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll lead these souls, so help the gods. I'll do what must be done indeed. I'll learn to live a life out here. I'll learn to live a life out here. Out in the pale beyond. Okay. Begin your journey. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. Okay. You're alone in the office. The tea in your hand has long since gone cold. You like coffee? It's adequate. It's perfectly adequate. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books on the desk of the ship and the bottle. A metronome ticks away steadily. Calming, insufferable, it's harmless. A simple reminder of the time you spent waiting. It stops. Keep waiting. You hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Take a seat, remain standing. We're gonna take a seat. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Do you have all your teeth? You want to open our mouth? Do we want to say I've had enough to get by or sorry? Open mouth. You bare your teeth to the man. Good. Can never be too careful. The captain sits down. It's little things you can lose people to. Are you speaking from experience? I've not had scurvy before. You're late. I'm gonna say you're late. You best get used to waiting in the line of work. How many people have died under your supervision? None. More than I'd care to admit. Didn't appreciate that. More than I'd care to admit. Can you remember their faces? Every single one of them I was trying to admit they faded. What are you insinuating? That each of them was a person, probably with a family. I mean, yeah. That's how people get here. I'm Captain Hunt. Shaw. He nods. On your desk, what's the job? Okay, wait for him to continue. I hope you weren't waiting too long. Is this a waste of my time? I'm told it's worth the wait. It's fine. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad, interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. The advert said there was glory to be had. It all seems a bit convoluted for a sailing job. We're just gonna keep listening. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? It's to be expected, surely. Good work is hard to come by these days. Quite the opposite's why I'm here. Honestly, what do you expect? It's to be expected, surely. I thought it blunt, but it's proven remarkable at weeding out the weak and the pretend. I have a few questions first. He looks down at the list of questions. Were you born a landlubber or a sea dog? Mixed. If I knew, I'd tell you. I've been all over. Saltborn, the ocean, the same as yourself. Landborn. We're from Landborn, right? We've never been out in the city. I mean, excuse me, we've never been out in the sea, but we can handle it. I'm from the city, but made my way to the sea eventually. Military experience, criminal, merchant, colonial. Whoops. Colonial. Under what circumstances did you leave? Honorably. Not in one piece. Well, we've no stewards to wipe your arse out here. You best get used to doing it yourself. Have you ever fired a weapon? Yes, no, only for sport. Yes. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? Yes. I see. You're not married, are you? Happily, of course not. Of course not. You better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving in the first place. And any less, and you're doing yourself a disservice. Let him continue. Can you get to the point? Just let him continue. He's old. We're here to find the ship in the bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? This is some kind of joke, right? No, enlighten me. Yes. Enlighten me. He clears his throat. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the dead peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. Did they? If they found it, I might have heard of them. Viscount, strange name for a ship. Did they? Did they what? Did they complete the research? Did they find it? Oh, just get to the point. You let out an exasperated sigh. Just get to the point, old man. She never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead. This is the beginning that sounds like a suicide mission, and we're supposed to be chasing that ship. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead. Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance. And we're supposed to be chasing that. I'm going to need more than rumors about lost ships. I'm putting more. Yeah, I'm gonna need more information. I'm gonna need more than just rumors about lost ships if I'm putting my life at risk. Naturally, here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount. That's how I'm gonna say it, since the first person left. Until now, so we're chasing ghosts then, they're definitely all dead. So we're chasing ghosts then. Maybe it's a myth, maybe it isn't. I can assure you the money is real. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character's gotten me this far. And who's financing all this? What of our own ship? What of our crew? What of our crew? Quite the mix, a work in progress. Some I've known for years, they get in on the trust and experience. Others, well, the interview. You don't have a full crew already? Any impressed? How large is this crew? As I said, a work in progress. I'd estimate over 20 when all is settled. We do have transport though. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood. Generational. Not many like it left these days. Though I count the Temperance. They're sister ships, built together. Sent out into the world to die alone. Poetic, what does that mean? Superstition gets people killed. So does cynicism. The captain looks at the bottled ship. So what do you think? It's not that much to go on. It sounds like you need all the help you can get. It's worth it if there's a chance, if anyone's alive. It's not much to go on. No, it isn't. The captain checks his watch. Anyway, I think I've heard enough. The captain stands up. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, Shaw. Preferably speaking. Don't you need more information? You're not what I expected, so I have the job. Don't you need more information? Not if I'm the captain worth his salt. I work with people, not professions. I'd sooner trust a good carpenter than a cruel sailor to save me from drowning. But alas, I'll see you on the Temperance. The captain makes his way to the door and you follow. Okay. You arrive at the docks a month to the day. Before you lies a ship. The letters on its side On the side read Temperance. We're supposed to, okay. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of the cargo. Also, we click. He turned to you with stern expression. You could feel his eyes assessing you. A military gate. You must be Hunt's pick for first mate. I figured you'd keep it in the ranks. Good man. He extends his arm. Richard Templeton, a pleasure. Don't shake his hand, shake his hand. No, we'll shake. You accept this offer of a handshake. It's a considered shake. I shall be operating as the chief science officer on this expedition. I am also an incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal. What did you specialize in? Mr. Templeton, I look forward to working together. I'm fairly certain we're all disposable. Yes. I'm fairly certain we're all disposable. He straightens himself. No doubt I need to inform you of your duties. You're second only to the captain himself. Though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I spent this afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, strict adherent is what we need if this expedition is to succeed. I'd expect you to be organized for it. You would not have been assigned the role otherwise. Sea folk are known to be unruly. I will do my best to keep them in line. I likely have more in common with the crew than I do yourself, Mr. Templeton. I have more than enough experience with a crew of this nature. This is comforting to hear. It would seem for most of the crew, the captain favored personal history over expertise. It is good to know he found the capable sword as such a vital role. Let me know when you're ready to depart. And make sure to savor these last moments on land. The less valuable time we waste here, the better. A young man. Okay. A young man stands at the ramp, steadying himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. He's scared too, I guess. Well, the Temperance. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, bearing some modern additions. So, are y'all ready to get into this boat? Alright then, let's set sail. Week 1 on the Temperance. The Pale Beyond. Ooh, this artwork is pretty. It's been a month. Alright. Sorry, I have allergies. Excuse me. Spread. Hunger draws a desperate here. Okay, yeah. It's one that can't be fed. What will you do when steel heart breaks and courage does its on? I'll learn to live a life out here, out in the Pale Beyond. First Mate Shaw, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on and 1 week since we set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. Who's paying for this? I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. I should investigate further. It's not my business. The crew, however, are a different story. There are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice. Let's pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew. The scouting team, Hunt, is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. He said, whereas the crew are a strange lot. The Temperance. Admiral Lee had nothing like this. She's magnificent. A technical marvel, elegant machinery, expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life, she's simply magnificent. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. I'm not sure okay, we trust him. I'm not sure what to think of our leader. I need to know if I can trust Captain Hunt. I need to know if I can trust Captain Hunt. He's not telling the whole truth. I've heard rumors. He's not telling the whole truth. Perhaps I'm too quick to judge. I mustn't let my guard down. Despite that, I find myself warming to the man. Okay. Enigmatic. I can't say that. I mustn't let my guard down. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Captain wants you at the helm. What for? Didn't ask. He leaves. Okay. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin. Lovely day, isn't it? It is indeed, Captain. Don't you have a helmsman to do that for you? Of course I do, but it's good to keep the old skills sharp. You never know when you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. He thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Did you ever take the helm in admiralty? I cannot say that word. Never felt right, not for me. Here, why don't you have a try? Take the wheel, are you sure? Sure. You grip the wheel of the ship and feel the weight of the waves in your arms. Oh, fuck. Memory and your muscles rear themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind. Easy. There, you have it. The captain pats you on the back. Fantastic. Now, try to get the sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Peaceful, isn't it? Panning and zooming speeds can be adjusted. Okay. He takes the wheel back from you. I think I'll drink the morning and a little longer. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day? There's much to do. A pristine furnished tub secured to the floor. A luxury to be had on the ice. Classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with the Kraken. You're unsure of any historical significance, though recognize the ship at the galleon of Captain Hamish. On the desk, you make out a variety of papers, notes, and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognize. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. Alright, let's do our duties. Take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you. Now let's run through our provisions before taking a request. To start, there's 23 souls signed onto this expedition, ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned a task. If they aren't already busy, the rest are deployed to their permanent stations. You are only able to deploy the crew who you have discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another post. We'll be picking up a scouting crew at the next port. The lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. The expedition will end tearing itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. We have enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. If you cannot afford the minimum food rations at the end of a week, the crew will become malnourished. Unless cured, the malnourished status will develop into scurvy and severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again. Colder temperatures will increase the minimum of fuel required at the end of the week. If you cannot afford the minimum fuel, the crew will become freezing. Unless cured, the freezing status will develop into frostbite, a severe status effect that prevents the crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation. Dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources on the ice. Sending hunts out further requires a greater amount of dogs. They will rest and become available between the weeks. Now on to work. Corvid. A sailor enters. We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side. You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had. The captain studies him further. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. Yes. Did you know that before you climbed into the crate? I did, sir. Huh. How old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true. I pull my weight, sir. Do you know you're jibbing from the bowsprit? I do. I learned it all from my dad. Your dad? He's Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain? Well, Shaw? Hunt eyes you up. Your first mate. What should we do with him? Keep him on board. Hunt squints. Why? You need all the help you can get. This young man wants to help. He's clearly here because his father is. It would be wrong to separate them again. We don't have the time to accommodate this. If the boy wants to freeze to death, let him. I want to say this, but you're gonna need all the help you can get. Alright, boy. Consider yourself a part of the crew now. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders. I will, thank you, sir. Captain, not sir. Aye, Captain. The stowaway joins the two sailors below the deck, now a member of the crew. Well, it seems the litter has a new runt. I hope the rest won't mind sharing the rations. What of the father? Simple. Split their pay and their rations. Any rations the boy takes should come from his. I doubt he intended for this to happen. We'll keep an eye on both of them. I think this was not malicious. I doubt he intended for any of this to happen. We'll keep an eye on them both. I suppose you're right. Well, the matter's sound. Okay, Cordell. Have you agreed upon my conditions? To the point, eh? Shaw, this lady is Cordell. Cordell here is to provide us with a kennel of hounds for the sleds, and our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island, but you neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. I had no intention of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. It's one thing to ask for my whole kennel, it's another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest, and never before has a seller made such strong demands. What exactly are these demands? She demands we allow her to come along on the expedition, as a member of the crew. None on this ship have experience and familiarity with the dogs that I possess. If you are taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them, if you have any chance of survival. The humans on board too, of course. Of course. You could see my dilemma, Shaw. We just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. Your thoughts? I don't see the harm in having an expert on sled dogs. I'm gonna have to do the first one, because what's the problem with her joining? I mean, I get it, food. Good point, Shaw. He turns to her. The deal's already to your benefit. Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them, and I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. I hope you are as experienced as you claim, Cordell. Don't expect the crew to waste time taking care of your mutts then. Welcome aboard, Cordell. Your knowledge should be valuable. Invaluable. I'll have a room prepared for you below the deck. No need. You'll find me in the forecastle with the dogs. She leaves. Hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw. Finish your quest. I don't see how that's making a mistake. Like, now that that's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Oh fuck, sorry guys. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up on the deck for dinner? Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another. An urgent matter? The Stoke brothers, who are they? Do you require me for this meeting? Excuse me. You haven't met all the crew yet? The Stokes have been serving me for years. They'll be down on the middle of the deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew's manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Okay. The forecastle door appears to be locked. You can hear the kennel master preparing the rooms inside. Okay. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Kasha Belford, balanced on the ship's mast with her camera, lining up a photo. Get down immediately, you'll kill yourself. How's the view up there? Wait for her to finish. Snapping a shot, she climbs down, only noticing you on her landing. Oh, officers. It's about time I met the first officer on the ship. Kasha Belford. Yes, I've heard of you already. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Kasha. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up here. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you cannot pass up. An accomplished photographer, Kasha Belford won the Fintler Prize, the highest honor in journalism, for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. She's not prepared for this. Her proof is all we have. Unless we devise a way to bring the Viscount back with us, her proof is all we have. The cold game. Picture that as a header. What? Sounds fine to me. I like it. Let her continue. For the piece of the voyage, excuse me. I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it. The title sounds like the work of an amateur. I'm not the creative type. I'm sure you would know better. Kasha tilts her head and grits her teeth, holding the inner debate within herself. Maybe not. How about Hunt's Incredible Voyage? Too fantastical, I suppose? I'll find the right name when the time comes. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Apologies. I'm just a little excited. I've never been on a voyage like this. I suppose someone of your experience finds it all boring at this point. A trip to the ice may seem dull compared to the royal, I'm not adverse to thrills. Well, hope we have some coming this way. I'm hoping to capture something right out of the Kurt Darling's old escapades. That reminds me, he'll be joining us on the next port. I should get his picture at some point. Kasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. The captain sent me to grab a copy of the manifest. Oh, yes, I'm putting together a manifest with the crew for you. She hands you a noted document. Here it is, the crew's manifest. Okay. Thank you. What? Yeah. Sweet. It's a work in progress. The scouts team are to join us in the next port. The captain's forbidding me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portals taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. Thank you, Kasha. She smiles. I'll not disturb you of your work any further, officer. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lowers anyhow. Safe shots, officer. Don't worry. You leave her to her work. Okay. Is this back upstairs? Oh shit. Alright. You find yourself almost knocking over a man carrying a heavy pot. Careful, careful. You almost got drenched in broth. Apologies, I'm in a rush. On a request for Hunt. From Hunt? Is there an issue with the ship? No, he just wanted to find the Stoke brothers for a meeting. Not surprised. Those two are the only ones who knows what's going on aboard this bloody ship. You hear a roar from the other side of the door. Oi, what's holding you up? Cook shakes his head with a smile and chuckles slightly to himself. He grabs a large pot and prepares to make his way to the hungry crew before turning his head to you. Don't mind, could you carry that tray of biscuits behind me? You grab the plate and follow the cook out the door and to the table where the crew are waiting with bated breath. Upon the cook's arrival, the sailors let out a rowdy cheer. The ship's cook placing the broth upon the table. Trust me, fellas, this one is worth the wait. The cook speaks with a tone of pride as he ladles the broth into the bowls of the crew. Oi, one at a time, you animals. Ward, you're awfully handsy for one's arm. For one arm, I don't know. Ah, piss off, Junior. Got some bread here too. Grab it fast before Tucker beats you to it. The crew laughs and are merry as Junior guides you back to the kitchen. You're junior? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I wanted to see how long it would take you to ask. Did he not give you a description, or were you just not paying attention to the cook? Well, Hunt wished to see you as soon as possible. Ah, yes, good old Hunt. Never a rest on this ship, but let me tell you. Especially when Hunt takes a liking to you. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence. The crew returns to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. Over dinner, you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. But you're lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that yourself. Come on, I'm here to help. Better know what involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child to me. You spot one of the Templeton science team pacing around the mid-deck, searching through some luggage that has been pulled from a cabin. Let me look in the light. Where was I? He notices you. Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. A bottle of wine, actually. Can't be hard to miss. It'll turn up eventually. I would hope so. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. To be saved for the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. You spot Templeton looking into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Ah, Officer Shaw. It'll be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite the change. I noticed you weren't at dinner with the others. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin, and I make use of it. Templeton keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean. There's a great expedition upon us, officer. From who? Who is a benefactor of ours? That is not for you to know, not yet. Templeton looks down, catching his reflection in the ocean's surface. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger up on it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer will be well rested. But I don't want to... No. I didn't want to go to week 2. Okay. Food rations per crew number this week. Okay. The ship makes its last port at Orca Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as we move further south. Week 2. 2 weeks on temperance. There's a rap on your cabin door. The door creaks open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling in the frame, grinning ear to ear. There you are. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, a seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration and the merchandising that followed. I know little of the man. His reputation is indeed great, but the man behind the legend is but a stranger. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? Do you need something of me, Kurt? I'm not the sort to demand favors, Officer Shaw. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. It took a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew were quite eager to meet me. That's right. You're something of a celebrity, aren't you? I take that to mean you haven't heard of me before. Well, then it's a pleasant surprise. There aren't many who haven't seen my films, particularly in the line of work. More than one fellow of this crew said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honor, is it not? I'm certain you received the praise. Is there a point to any of this grandstanding? Oh, apologies. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? I was hoping you'd join me up on deck. Does hunt require my presence? No. We've finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it yourself. We'll be moving through the ice for a while. I'm not interested. Best not to leave yourself with regrets, Shaw. I'll be at the bow. I hope to see you up there soon. Kurt turns to walk away before turning back. Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. He leaves. That's it? Yeah. Okay. The door to the doctor's office remains locked. You are yet to come across the ship's doctor even after all this time. You note one of the science team returning to the room. She nods to you. Ah, hello. I did not expect Minnie to be up this early. Harriet Glossley. I believe I met your husband. Ah, yes. Dwight made mention of your encounter. He's still fast asleep. He's adjusted to the ship well. I believe a walk around the ship would help acclimate myself to the waves. Perhaps it will take some more time. With that, Miss Gloss makes her way back to her cabin. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale. Morning. He eyes you up. Officer Shaw, right? Lefty. Call me that on account of, well, should be obvious. He chuckles. Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all I feel. Just keeping her steady. He examines you. Surprise Hunt picked from outside for his first mate. Would you prefer the role? You seem to have experience. Definitely not. The old body can't take the pressure anymore. Besides, I've worked on other ships. Others have worked with Hunt much longer. Must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. Hunt doesn't have much fondness for the military, but at least means you got the worth ethic. Mornings like these are about the only peace I get from the younger lot. You should take these moments when you can. Lefty returns his attention to the helm. You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the temperance break the floes below you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impending ice floe. There is a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales. See? Nothing else like it. I assumed you'd seen everything. Younger me would have agreed with you. It's an interesting mix, nostalgia and the never-ending new. Look at the ice. No two cracks are the same. Did you just want to show me the ice, or is there something you wanted to discuss? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for long once winter approaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course, it's going to get thicker. He looks out across the white. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here to the next cycle. We need to change courses. Avoid the pack. Have you informed Captain Hunt? He won't listen to me. Thinks I've been dulled by retirement. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey. It's not my decision. Yes, but you have the captain's ear. Have you ever experienced a long night's winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. There's a chain of command. This isn't one of your adventure serials, Kurt. Certainly not. If I was satisfied with those, I wouldn't have left retirement. We're only as good as the unhappiest man, Robin. I'll do what I can. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Kurt nods and turns back to look across the ice. Ah, Shaw. Ready for another day of work? Did you hear Kurt's advice? He wants us to switch course. Aye, he had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you would help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed the lining pulling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please. A short, sour-faced man in engineering clothes approaches. Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprised you didn't notice. Shaw, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond? You've hit the ice and you haven't assigned any extra men down at the boiler. You have your engineering team, and we've only got 6 arms between us. Any more manpower maintaining this, sailors. Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know I've already assigned Smurf on the matter. The captain turns to you. How many do you think is fair? 1, 3? More. Open the crew's manifest to choose how many sailors you wish to assign. Okay. You could take Corbett and Joe. You're giving me Ward with one bloody arm. Young Runt could use someone to teach him on the job. Who's better than his father? Don't get me started on handing over the bloody stowaway. Would you rather none? The engineer holds his tongue. Fine. But you can tell me right now how I was when buried under the ice. He leaves. Good spirit, that one. Beneath the oil and the temperature. I said the temperature. I'm done. Won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room. Captain Shaw, a thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the crew's manifest scan. Well, it might be too late for this now, but we've already entered the ice. Out with it. Thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew. For your report, not only my report, it would be a good reference for the manifest. Put faces to the names. Much of the crew has served me for years, some decades. I have little problem putting faces to the names. Your thoughts, Shaw? It seems a good idea. It's a bit late, but it's now or never. May as well get it over with. Aye, good point. But maybe you could sound a little more enthused. Well, Belford, I see no problem there. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner. Thank you, Captain. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on the matter, Officer Shaw. She departs satisfied. Corbett enters the office. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing? Aye, and I wanted to see if the young boy has settled in well. He has indeed. It means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He had his dad to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy. Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to get the boy aboard. She leaves. Finish request. Good to have all that settled then. Perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Shaw, meet with him when you have the time. Changing course or not, we'll want one of his scouts to set up a crow's nest. Take care of that, and you'll be done for the day. Oh. You spot a youthful-looking man leaning over the side of the ship, his head slumped as he looks into the icy pool below. It appears he's visited by a spot of seasickness. I'm gonna leave him. You decide not to bother the man. He's in enough bother as it is. You turn and move on. You're two of the newly arrived scouting crew talking. Ah, Quisley. Have any trouble settling in? Not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though. A proper navigator needs rest until their work is done. Of course. I'll take it you had no issue settling in? Not at all. The crew are a funny lot. Well, Kurt certainly caught their attention. Har. You think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself? I think you'd collapse from joy if they did. Har. Perhaps. You spot a suspicious-looking sailor emerge from the pantry. The hooded sailor spots you, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets. Not what it looks like, Officer Shaw. Plek, but call me Gnomes. You best have a good explanation then. I have a perfectly good explanation. No worries. I was just setting up a practical joke. And what is a practical joke? Not gonna spoil the surprise. It's not at your expense, if that's your concern. Have to get some enjoyment around here, don't you think? With the mysterious trap set, Gnomes scurries off to the upper decks to return to work. He spots you and ceases his playing. Need something? You're Grimley, aren't you? The man grunts. Hi. Grimley Stoke. I'm the ship's carpenter. Ah, then you're Junior's brother. Junior? Oh. You're Shaw. Junior mentioned you. It was good to meet you, Grimley. And it was good to meet you, Grimley. Yeah, Grimley just grunts in response. Won't keep you from your work. Don't keep me from my break. The moment you enter the pantry, a bag of flour drops on your head, scattering all over your officer uniform. The hells was that, Gnomes? You wipe the floor off you before continuing. You lift the crate of tins from the shelves. What the fuck did we take? Ah, one step ahead of me. If you've added those 10 to the hush, we should be good for dinner. Got anything for the hush? There. Okay. While examining the rigging of the ship, your eyes notice the figure darting by, climbing on the ropes with ease. The figure lands on their feet, but dusting themselves off. Their outfit denotes one of Kurt's scouting crew. Ah, no problems. She looks to you. And you are? You should be careful. It's easy to get trapped up there. I won't have much of a problem. Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety. I know what I'm doing, trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't just hire me for no reason. Got the medals and gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials. Flick jumps up and returns to scaling the rigging of the ship. Send me up there and I'll get you a reading. The scientist eyes the man's cane and turns to you. I believe Navigator means you to send one of your scouts. Navigator clears his throat and taps his cane. Of course. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading rightly. They ascend to the nest and take a reading with the sextant. All clear from up top. What happened? Are we supposed to look at this? The last part you made, you were just picked up current scouting. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. We need more fuel. The crew has their meal. Har, shall we toast to the ice? Aye. The days get longer, but dinner's fixed. You'll see us through the long days and the darkest nights. The crew return to their posts, the hammocks, and the unfurled preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright light outside. You notice two sailors passing by the dinner table. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs leaning on the shoulder of another. Ah, good times, good times. Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker. Ah, but I'm fine. My mates can carry me, eh, Cavity? They also can drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time. You still asleep? Okay. Just making sure. You overhear two engineers chatting above the deck, or rather you overhear one engineer speaking with another. Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. You ever see Hammond eat? I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on the boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either. Probably sleeps. I dick. It's a figurative. Right. The dogs regard with the rapt attention as she paces between them, bowl in hand. The largest joins her side as you approach. Try some. Alright, eaten. Fair. She takes a sip herself without hesitation. Penguin, some blubber, fats and proteins, fastest way to hydrate them. Was there something you need? Just inspecting the animals. They belong here more than we do. Unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their paws as they run. They overheat otherwise. Strong creatures. Very. They handle stress differently, adapt quickly. There's plenty to be learned from them. Who's that beside you? It's Stanberry. Bark. As you were. It barks at you and moves behind its master. Oh, okay. Well, Captain has turned in for the evening. Do we also turn in for the evening? Are we missing something? I'm looking. Seems everybody's kind of, You knock on the door. No response. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna end it there. Wait, did we? Okay. I know we need to get. We definitely are in need of some fuel. Yeah. What is this? Food rations. Is it? What is it wanting? Oh, shit, we don't have enough fuel. There. We definitely, yeah. Another week passes, the Temperance has finally entered the thick ice slates. The day grows even brighter. Alright, y'all, and with that, I'm gonna quit right there. Thank you for listening and watching this, and hopefully we definitely find more food and fuel in the thick ice leads. But see you guys next time.